My child, I know you are busy. I know how full your days feel, how crowded your thoughts are, how your attention is pulled in 100 directions before the morning even ends. Know you move from task to task, message to message, responsibility to responsibility, rarely stopping long enough to notice how tired you truly are. And I know you did not plan to be interrupted. I know interruption can feel frustrating, like one more thing asking for your attention when you already feel stretched thin. Please believe me when I tell you this. I do not take your time lightly. I know how precious every quiet moment feels to you right now. I know how rare it feels to have uninterrupted space. That is why I need you to hear this clearly. I'm not interrupting you because you have failed. I'm not stopping you because you have done something wrong. I'm not breaking into your moment to accuse, correct, or add weight to your life. I am interrupting you because I love you. And love does not always wait for convenience. Love does not always wait for the perfect moment. Love steps in when protection is needed, even if it feels inconvenient. I know your life feels full. I know your mind feels crowded. Know your heart feels tired in ways sleep does not fix. And I know you have become very careful about what you allow to take your attention. But you cannot ignore this moment. Not because I want something from you, but because I see something you cannot see yet. And love will not let me stay silent when silence would cost you more. The enemy is not trying to attack you. They are trying to distract you. The enemy is hoping you scroll past right now. Not with fear. Not with force. Not with chaos or loud destruction. But with distraction. They do not need to shout. They do not need to threaten. They do not need to shake your life apart. They only need you to stay busy. They only need you to stay numb. They only need you to keep moving just fast enough that you never stop to listen. That is all they want in this moment. Delay, distraction, dismissal. That is why I am speaking now, because I refuse to let that happen without warning you first. They do not want you to hear this because what you are about to understand will wake you up. And awareness weakens their hold. Clarity breaks subtle chains. When you see clearly, you stop agreeing with things that have been quietly draining you. When you understand what is happening, you stop blaming yourself for feeling off. When you recognize the pattern, you regain choice. That is why this moment feels urgent. Not because you are weak, but because you are close to seeing something that will change how you move forward. I would not stop you like this unless it mattered deeply. I do not interrupt lightly. I know how often you are already interrupted. I know how precious uninterrupted moments feel to you. That is why I chose this one. Because what you do not see yet is already affecting you, and love does not wait until damage becomes obvious before it speaks. Do not tell yourself later. Please do not tell yourself you will listen later. I know that voice well. It sounds reasonable. It sounds calm. It sounds mature. It says, "This can wait. I'll come back when I'm less tired, less distracted, more available." But later has already taken more from you than you realize. Later has stretched into weeks before. Later has stretched into months before. And when you finally returned, the clarity you needed felt harder to grasp. Later does not feel dangerous, and that is why it works. I'm calling you into now. Not to rush you, not to pressure you, but to protect you. You are being distracted on purpose, and you deserve to know why. Not everything pulling at your attention is harmless. Not everything demanding your time is neutral. Some distractions are carefully designed to keep you from noticing what is shifting in your heart, what is draining your spirit, what is pulling you away from peace. What is slowly wearing you down without announcing itself? I'm not accusing you. I am revealing what has been happening, so you can choose with awareness instead of habit. Exhaustion was the strategy. I see how full your life feels. I see the responsibilities you carry. I see the expectations placed on you. I see how hard you try to keep everything together. But I also see something else. I see how your soul has been targeted quietly, not through crisis, not through chaos, but through exhaustion, not through destruction, but through constant noise. That is why you feel tired in ways sleep does not fix. That is why your heart feels heavy without a clear reason. That is why joy feels thinner lately. That is why peace feels fragile. This is not random. This message is protection, not for me but for you. And protection does not always look like comfort. Sometimes it looks like interruption. Sometimes it looks like a voice saying, "Stop for a moment. Listen." That is what I am doing right now. This is not disappointment. This is care. Hear this clearly. This is not correction rooted in disappointment. This is warning rooted in care. If you were failing, I would not be this close. If you were lost beyond hope, I would not be speaking so personally. I am speaking because you matter. And what is happening around you matters. Do not scroll past. What you do not see can still harm you. Ignorance does not protect the heart. Awareness does. When you know what is happening, you can choose differently. When you understand the pull, you can resist it. When you see the pattern, you stop blaming yourself. I am giving you understanding so you can breathe again. Comfort without truth collapses. I know part of you wants to turn away, not because you do not care, but because intensity feels heavy. I know you would rather stay comfortable than confront something unseen. But comfort without truth eventually collapses. I am offering you truth now so your peace does not rest on something fragile. You may feel tension rising as you listen. That is not fear. That is recognition. Something in you knows this moment matters. Something in you knows this is not just another message. That is why the enemy hoped you would scroll. Because if you stay, you will start connecting dots you were never meant to ignore. Busy hearts are easier to pull. You have been strong for a long time. You have carried more than most people know. You have pushed through seasons where you should have rested. You have stayed productive even when your spirit needed quiet. That strength has been admirable. But it has also made you vulnerable. Busy hearts are easier to pull than broken ones. That is why I am stepping in now. I am not angry with you for being busy. I am not disappointed in you for being distracted. I understand how this world pulls at you constantly. That is why I speak with urgency instead of accusation. I'm not here to shame you. I am here to wake you gently, before weariness becomes numbness. Listening is already protection. Stay with me for a moment longer. Let your breathing slow. Let your heart stop racing ahead. You do not need to respond yet. You do not need to decide anything yet. You only need to listen. Listening is already an act of protection. The most dangerous moments are not the loud ones. They are the quiet ones where nothing seems wrong, but something is slowly drifting. I am speaking now because I love you too much to let that drift continue unnoticed. You are not alone in this moment. I'm not watching from a distance. I am close, speaking directly to your heart, because you are worth the interruption. Awareness is what the enemy fears. The enemy does not want you afraid. They do not want you suspicious. They do not want you alert. They want you unaware. A distracted heart is easier to guide than a broken one. An unaware heart agrees without realizing it. An unaware heart carries burdens it was never meant to carry. They do not need you to reject me. They only need you to stay distracted long enough that you never fully listen. Their greatest fear is not your strength. It is your awareness. Awareness changes direction. Awareness restores choice. Awareness breaks agreement. Distraction dulls discernment. Distraction is more dangerous than you think. Not because it is loud, but because it is subtle. It blends into normal life.